Hello, my friends. I am the Dungeon Tutor. Welcome. Today, I'm answering a question for RPGaDay, the 20th question for the 20th day. And today is a fun one. I get to highlight something that I really enjoyed, and I hope that you like it too. Today, I'm going to talk about an amazing adventure. This is not a very long adventure. This is not a full campaign length by any stretch of the imagination. It is a plug and play. You can use this anywhere. This particular adventure is called Darktide's Night. It's created by Gooey by a guy I know named AJ who makes fantastic stuff. And this adventure is great. So, the thing is, I can't talk about it because I don't want to give any spoilers. So, thank you for coming. No, I'll talk a little bit about it. First of all, this is a combination. It's got some combat. Yes. It's got riddles. But not the kind of riddles where it's just like you bonk your head on the wall and just kind of like, oh, I just wish I was done with this. I know a lot of riddles that are really more painful than they are fun. This isn't that. It's got several things. If you don't get it right, it hurts, but it's not devastating. It is effectively a haunted treehouse adventure. And it comes, as Gooey does, fully supported with handouts so that you can see, as the players, what your characters would see, and cards for the items that you can find, absolutely, which is, again, a Gooey trademark, and or hallmark, or trademark. Other games have done this too, but Gooey does it for all their stuff. And the premise itself, you're walking on a dark road on a cursed night, and a ghost stops you and persistently badgers you until you go to this treehouse. If the players completely nope it, fine. But, I mean, this is a fun little adventure. So they go to the treehouse, and right away at the door, it looks sinister as heck. The handouts, very effective. And because of the way Gooey is, you could even have an encounter before you get to the treehouse just to warm everybody up. You can have as much combat as you want or not. Gooey uses not so random encounters so that you can read the room and give the players exactly what is needed at the moment. Things have kind of gone a little slow so far. Throw in a bit of combat. Nothing too drastic for the level that they're at and where they're at, but something that's tied into the area, the stats for which are completely provided by the game, and scalable depending on how good your players are at playing the combat part of Dungeons & Dragons. Which is very cool. Again, something that is a hallmark of Gooey. So, maybe they've gotten into a fight before they get to the treehouse. They get to the treehouse, there's a puzzle just to get in. Oh, they don't need to solve the puzzle. If they go in, they just miss out. Which, that's fine. You absolutely can. You don't have to hold anything back. And if they just loot and pillage and stuff, there's even a zonk for that if they don't think things through. They go into the next room. There's a fight. Ah, they're attacked. There is combat in this, absolutely. And it's a pretty good fight. It's smart opponents. Enough to be a distraction at the weakest, and enough to be a real menace if you want to punch things up a little bit. But, for the most part, the players should get through it. And, again, the illustration really helps to sell it. The players get through that, and now another riddle confronts them. What do we do here? Well, if the players figure it out, they give themselves a nice little advantage. If they don't, they can still succeed at the adventure. They don't need to do this, but they can do this. So, they move to the next section, and wouldn't you know it, there's another riddle. But this one has all kinds of hints that this is going to be nasty. This could be a dangerous riddle to flub on. Is it? Not going to spoil or anything, but it is something that can definitely help the players to move forward. If they don't completely solve the puzzle. It's not going to kill them. It just stops them from getting some nice loot. And, you know, they'll probably regret that to some extent. And then there's another area. This is the creepiest one of all. And again, the illustration is very creepy, almost to the point of being macabre. And again, this is where the crux of the riddle is. If the players have done well up to this point, they are going to be rewarded. If not, they may not have a great ending. There's nothing holding the players and saying they have to do this. But there are more combats that you can have. And when they get to the end of it, who knows? Will it be a happy ending? Will they get all the rewards of it? Maybe not. Maybe it's just the journey that you took along the way, the chance to be a little bit startled, a little bit frightened, maybe. My players are creeped out by this encounter. It's fantastic. If it all works out and the players are clever and they solve the riddles, great. They get the happy ending, which is good. Doesn't mean you can't throw one last fight in at the end, because the last one I threw was rather fun. But the whole thing is a play at your own pace kind of adventure, which is nice. You can blitz through it quite quickly, probably 2 hours if you want to. If you say skip on some of the details because you've got fully fleshed out handouts to show the players. If the players are crackerjack about getting through riddles and stuff, and they see a situation, they immediately analyze it, and or maybe intuit their way through it, cool. That works out. They get some nice advantages, nice treasures for low-level heroes. If they don't, they're really not out much. They maybe take a little bit more damage, sure. But for the most part, they've just taken part in a fun little story, fun little adventure. Not very long, not very big. Certainly probably something that does not need to be multiple sessions. As a matter of fact, it's been used quite frequently as a convention adventure for Gooey Cube, spanning at most 4 hours. I've run it in 3.5. It is a lot of fun. And that 3.5, I then added one more combat just to give them a little bit more. But it was, it's a fine adventure. AJ did a fantastic job of writing it. The handouts are excellent. There's a little map for you too if you get a hold of it. It's called Darktide sNight. It is available as a free download from Gooey Cube at this point, I believe. It has been for quite a while, but they now have print versions of it available for sale too. And I have to say, excellent. I have a copy myself. I bought it even though it's free because it is that good, and I really wanted to have it. And I will be bringing it to cons and running this for other people too, because I believe it is a fantastic game and should be celebrated. So to me, this is one of those things that's not difficult for me to plug and say, hey, this is a great adventure. It is. It simply is. Many of the Gooey Cube adventures are really, really, really good with all of the things you need. And the handouts, oh my gosh, that makes such a difference. My players just have gotten to love going to that next area and seeing the next thing. It's addictive. So, that's my pick. I hope you like it. And if you've ever played Darktide sNight, go ahead and write in the comments what you felt about it. Or if this sounds like something that you love because it's so evocative, it's immersive, but not, hackneyed and trite. It's just a good story. Feel free to say how that touched you too. I do hope, though, that you enjoyed this to the point, if you haven't already, considering subscribing to my channel and liking this video. Makes me feel good. I do enjoy it. And I do hope that you come back. Maybe bring a friend with you, too. Tell other people about this. This is kind of fun. And if I do see you again in the future, I hope that between then and now that you, yes, you, get a chance to roll some dice, play some games, have some fun. But stay safe out there, my friends. Until that next time, farewell.